What's going on, guys? I had a little bit of break in between calls, so I figured I'd pop in here and do an impromptu two live as I promised the other day. So I'll get into it, and because it's impromptu and not planned, I'm not sure how many people will be on the live. If you're here, great. If you're catching the replay, drop replay in the comments. And as always, if you have any questions, let me know. But today's not really going to be too educational. It's not going to be talking about tactics or strategy. What I want to do here is maybe you have an aha moment, or maybe with what I'm about ready to share for you is a real wake up call that you needed to truly make a change for you and your kids and family. Okay. And more so of a story. But the other day I was talking to this woman. She's like mid 30s. She's a client of ours now. Divorced, has a daughter. And when I was talking to her, she's had 30-40 pounds to lose for quite some time. Her daughter, I believe, was like 10 or 11 or so. And ever since she had her daughter, she's kind of struggled with her weight. She would struggle a little bit before then, but really, like, lack of a better word, kind of ballooned up after having her daughter. But we were talking on Monday, and she was talking about how, her relationship with food is terrible. Like, she feels so guilty. She'll go a couple weeks, not eat anything bad, and then she binges on really bad food, and then she has so much shame or guilt over that. She's always on a diet, like literally always trying something, whether that's keto, paleo, meal prep service. She's, doing this boot camp. She's, doing like it's like always doing something. Detox teas. She's done Ozempic. Like she's done everything. And she kind of broke down a little bit on the call with me, because she has gained and lost the same weight over and over and over again for the last like 15 years. And she realizes her relationship with food and nutrition isn't good. And she's just got to a point where she's, sick of dying, sick of trying all these diets. And in our conversation, I said, hey, like, you have struggled with this for 15 years, at this point, or essentially your entire life. She's mid 30s. So ever since like after high school, she struggled with her weight after gaining some weight in college. And I was like, why now all of a sudden? What's kind of the catalyst for you making this change at this point? And that's kind of when she broke down. She's like, I recognized over last week, my daughter said to her, Mommy, I want to do a diet with you. I guess her daughter had been getting picked on a little bit. She's a little bit chubby for her age. And that's when she lost it. And she lost it because of this. Before, in our conversation with her, she was talking a lot about how her relationship with food and always being on a diet really stems from how she was how she was raised, and what she saw her mom go through. She said when she was a little girl, her mom had struggled with her weight her entire life, and when she was a little girl, she saw her mom do diet after diet, always complaining about like, oh, I need to lose weight, like these jeans don't fit, I really don't want to get dressed up and go out, and talking to her dad about like we can't go to the beach, and always talking about weight, and seeing her own mom do diet after diet after diet. And she holds a lot of resentment, even though she's like, I love my mom, but like, it was very difficult growing up. And I know how I was raised when I was, 7, 8, 10, 12, middle school, high school, when I was a kid, seeing my mom do this for 10, 15 years herself. It really, and her mom like put her on diets and stuff. They would like do diets together, and that how she was raised, she could never get over that, and that carried with her through adulthood. And she wasn't even aware of this until the moment last week when her daughter came to her and said, I want to do a diet with you, mommy. And her daughter's like 10, 11 years old. Like, how ridiculous is that and sad, right? I mean, I hear people talk all the time. You know, I will do everything for my kids. You know, I would die for them. I would do this for them. Like, my kids come first. They're a top priority. And then you don't recognize kids are sponges. They see literally every little thing you do. Probably see things you do that you're not aware of, right? Like it was for this woman, you know. But her daughter had seen her, and now her daughter's 10 or 11 years old, and if this woman didn't make a change, this was going to be another generation of probably a bad relationship with food, obesity, overweight, until our now client figured out how to truly adjust her relationship with nutrition, make a permanent long-term lifestyle change, get rid of doing the quick fixes, the fad diets, focus on trying to lose as much weight as fast as possible, because one, it wasn't working, and two, it was creating a really bad reality for her daughter. And she decided, you know, it was in that moment, we all kind of have those aha, like, hey, I need to make a change moments, and that moment was last week for her, like I said, when the daughter's like, hey, mommy, I want to do a diet with you. She's 10. You know? So, if that's you, and you saw your parents or your mom growing up or a family member always dieting and things, and you think that, you know, it was hard for you to, you know, get over that because that's how you were raised, what examples are you setting for your kids? What are they seeing you do? Do you complain about your weight? Do you say, hey, we need to eat healthier? Like, oh, I shouldn't have ate that? Because they're watching you, whether you realize it or not. And monkeys see, monkey do. So if you are struggling with your weight and you have a poor relationship with food and nutrition, you're always complaining about how you look and you don't feel beautiful and you need to do something, and then they see time goes on where you don't do something, they think that's okay. They think that's normal. They think that's how it's supposed to be, when that's absurd. And that was that woman's moment. Says, mommy, I want to do a diet too, with you. Woman finally said, like, enough, frickin' enough. She reached out to us, and now she's in our coaching program, and we're gonna help her, and we're going to, you know, work with her and make small incremental adjustments over time to, one, change her relationship with food, two, get her results and get this weight off, and three, build long-term sustainable changes to truly make this a permanent lifestyle change. So the buck stops here, and her daughter can now witness what a healthy relationship with health and fitness and nutrition should look like. So that said, maybe this is a wake-up call for you. Maybe you realize it, but you haven't done anything about it, which is very sad. You know, something to think about with your kids and such. You know, do you want them to be healthy when they grow up? Do you want them to like struggle with obesity, being overweight, type 2, cholesterol issues and things? Because chances are kids are going to be very similar to you. So what are you teaching them? What are you showing them? How are you living? Because they're going to be a mirror. So that said, my goal with this wasn't to make you feel bad, you know. So if you're sitting here and be like, oh my God, that's me, it's okay, you know. Like, it does no good now to sit here and beat yourself up like, oh my gosh, Bo was right, like I've done this. It's like, the past is the past. You can't change it. You can't go back. But what you can do is recognize it. And all you can control is what you do right now in this moment, and then what you do moving forward. That's it. And you're in 100% control of that. And last thing I'll say is, like, you know, if you were like that woman last week, and maybe now hearing this is your wake up call, and you're, you know, serious about like, hey, I need to do something here because this Bo guy's right. You know, yeah, I mean, reach out to me, or, you know, seek professional help. You know, if it's with us, you can shoot me a message and, you know, see if we can, you know, help you. So, that said, something to think about. I think it's very, very important. I was very sad for this woman, but I'm so glad that she, she finally did recognize this before her daughter, was a little bit older and stuff. Her daughter is like 9 or 10, so, um, you know, relatively young in the grand scheme of it all. So that said, peace. We'll catch you on the next one.